Hey there, sweetness, how goes it? I do hope that it goes well. Quick name of the game, if there's anything that is connective to this couples collective, that's beautiful. I invite you to take that shit with you. If, however, nothing here resonates, that's alright. You just leave it right where you fucking found it. It's probably a piece of information that was meant for someone else in the collective, and you should never, ever, ever take something off the table, or in general, that does not belong to you. Please keep in mind that time may be fluid as well as energy. Let's get into it, shall we? Yes. Yes, we fucking shall. What are we getting into? As I said, couples messages, love messages. Spirit of love, truth, grace, and guidance, please guide myself, guide these messages, guide this collective. Please guide us all, always, always. Thank you. Welcome home, homies. Please do the tribe a favor. Make sure you get those likes up on your way into the video. Also, please make sure you check to see if you are a subscriber, if you're not sure. Both of these things are free, but they help the shanty grow, and they're appreciated immensely. All right, enough jibber jabber. So this is going to be our smoke cleanse for this reading. This is a very, very special sacred braid. This is sweetgrass. It comes from a wedding ceremony of a childhood friend of mine. Very wishes, dreams, hope come true, but also faith, effort, and persistence paying off. So here's to that, collective. Here's to that. And just a little bit of sage in the background as well. Sage, rosemary, a little bit of marijuana in there. All right. We're going to open with this fun little playing card deck, the And Couples Edition. One big excuse me for any and all coughs. Pop a few of these out and see what they have to say. Let me back you guys up a little so that I don't shake you so much. That may help. All right, so if you guys are unfamiliar with the Couples Edition, when I use this deck, basically there's a whole lot of questions in here. What does it say? Explore the relationships around you. 199 questions. The skin deep. Experience, rethink, connect. But basically just, yeah, a whole lot of pretty, well, simple, sweet, significant questions, and then some pretty off-the-wall questions. So here you go. These are for you and your partner to ask each other. Those almost flipped, but they didn't, so we'll keep going. Questions for the homies in love. Thank you. First one up. What do you think is the next step in our relationship? What do you think is the next step in our relationship? Next up, what are you going to take away from this relationship? What are you going to take away from this relationship? See, they have little symbols on them as well. I'm just realizing this. This, what do you think is the next step in our relationship, has a sunshine. And that, what are you going to take away from this relationship, has a cracking heart. This one has a heart, not cracking. It says, name the top 5 things you'd like to change about me. Name the top 5 things you'd like to change about me. Now, for those viewers that are watching that aren't in a current relationship but are still interested in hanging out for the love reading, these are some questions that you could alter just a bit in order to ask yourselves. What do you think the next step for yourselves is in getting into a healthy connection? What is it that you've taken away from the unhealthy connections? What are the top 5 things that you'd like to change about yourselves? What are the top 5 things that you're looking for in someone? Anything from the other side? Hello from the other side. Describe what you were like before we met. And this one has a little, like, clock. Time's a ticking. Describe what you were like before we met. Oh, but it is time's moving backwards towards the past. So, again, for those at home that are playing along with and for themselves, can you describe to yourself what you were like before some of this? What you're like now? Are there changes you see in yourselves that you're thrilled with, impressed by, unhappy with, irritated by. Questions, questions, questions. I think we're going to go with a handmade channel deck. Love messages for the collective. Love messages for the homies. Oh, no, you didn't, but that falls in the reverse. He is an utter failure as a devil. That is an excerpt from Zbigniew Herbert, Polish translation. Yes, someone's an utter failure at being evil. Yes, they are. I like that. We like that energy. Give them their flowers. I feel like I'm going to cut this deck in half as well for now. We'll come to that other half in a moment. Messages for the collective, please. Messages for the homies. Thank you. Oh, that's a few. You're hired. I like this. So, I'm getting an energy so just clean and fresh and pure and light and gentle. Homies, for those of you and for those of your partners that are utter failures at being friggin' miserable assholes, straight up wicked dinks, you're hired for something that's going to alter and change and transform the way that you see yourself, the way that those around you see you, the way that the universe sees you. This is a line from D.H. Lawrence. Queer how you stalk and prowl the air. This was coming in the reverse. Queer how you stalk and prowl the air in circles and evasions, enveloping me, ghoul on wings, winged victory. The ghoul on wings receives no winged victory. the fool on wings being the devil. I strolled on by a little free library today outside of a church, just right in the parking lot, and I picked up a book, The Princess and the Goblin. I haven't read it by any means or anything. It's actually sitting outside until I can cure it of any potential mold, things like that, before bringing it in amongst all the books. But I was getting something about that collective. Many of you are hired in terms of going from prince, princess to king, queen, or from king, queen to emperor, empress. Perhaps even with a taste of hierophant and high priestess. I'm getting the required skills for this spiritual, metaphysical, enlightened work that you're being hired for, you and or your partner, is because it's like being hired. The skill set that you have is being able to take things away from I had a whole rest of that sentence, but that's Spirit said stop there, because that can be translated multiple ways. Being able to take things away from relationships, take your energies away from people, such. Ribbon cutting ceremony. Are you excited yet? These are a few lines from a song. They fell in the reverse. And I tell you, man, I'm thankful they did. The song's called Just a Kid. And homies, y'all ain't riding like kids no more. Whoever you're riding with, it's not just, that ride or die energy. It's that, are we on the road to the same place energy? Do we agree on our speed? Do we agree on our distance and breaks in between? Do we, Two cannot travel together without agreement. There's something about very mature agreements being made, and that being a part of the job offer. Homies, you're coming upon your ribbon cutting ceremony. What does this mean for you? just got something about tasting the moon. Messages for the collective, please. Messages for the homies. What do the homies need to know in love? My lovey-dovey homies. Messages for the collective, please. Messages for the collective. I was just thinking this is going to be like my last round of shuffling. If nothing comes out, my goodness. Got a humongous chunk with not falling for this, I'm not buying it. Yeah, not falling for this, I'm not buying it. That's... No. We moving on. Love messages for the homies. Love messages for the homies. You guys have inner child. The fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe. With this, I just saw that beautiful sculpture piece about there's a couple of adults arguing, and it's like made out of, see-through metal or something like that. And you can see their inner children. And while these grown-ups are sitting back to back arguing, so angry, their inner children are inside holding hands. Abundance. Prepare yourself for incoming abundance. Release any mental blocks you may have. In fairyland and humanland, there is enough abundance for everyone. Grab you guys an oracle. Another oracle for closing message. Spirituality. Card 21. I was just thinking the two become one. One becomes two, that whole thing. A higher calling awaits. Ask your angels for spiritual guidance. Spend time meditating and journaling to gain clarity. Seek a spiritual mentor. I love it. I love you guys. I hope you guys love this video. Love each other. Love yourselves. Until we speak again, my dears.